Did you know that the way you spend the first few minutes of your day could be the biggest factor in your success or your frustration? And the craziest part is that hardly anyone pays attention to this. We wake up, grab our phones, dive into chaos, and then spend the rest of the day trying to fix what started off wrong. But what if I told you there are 15 simple, direct, and deeply transformative habits that can completely shift your mental and emotional state, and even the direction of your life, all done first thing in the morning? The great Stoics already knew this. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. They didn't treat the morning as just another part of the day. To them, it was a ritual for building inner strength. They didn't start their day on autopilot. They prepared for the battle of life with strategy, presence, and discipline. And today, you're going to learn how to do the same. This video is a practical guide, not for perfect people, but for those who are ready to take control of their own minds. Each of the 15 steps you'll discover here is simple but powerful enough to reset your focus, your energy, and your purpose. If you apply even half of these actions every day, your mind will stop being a battlefield and become your greatest ally. So take a deep breath, mute the world for a few minutes, and get ready to discover how Stoic philosophy can transform not just your mornings, but your entire life. Wake up at the exact time. No negotiating with your mind. Have you ever started your day by betraying yourself? It may sound dramatic, but every time you hit the snooze button or delay your alarm, you're telling your brain, my word doesn't mean that much. That first gesture in the morning, silent and seemingly harmless, carries immense weight in shaping your mind. Stoicism teaches us that life isn't built on grand speeches, but on small, consistent actions, and few are more symbolic than the decision to get up when you said you would. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, once wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being." For the Stoics, waking up with readiness wasn't just a habit, it was a commitment to existence itself. When you rise and complete that first mission of the day, you reinforce within yourself the power of discipline, intention, and action. You send a clear command to your mind. We're in charge. Now think about it. If you start your day giving in to laziness, why would you expect to have the strength to resist procrastination later on? If you fail at the first step, the rest of the path is already crooked. Self-discipline is forged in the first minutes of the morning. It's not about being harsh. It's about aligning with what you said you'd do. It's the quiet practice of the virtue of fortitude. As Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. But even if you win that first battle, something even more dangerous is already waiting for you. An invisible thief, always within reach. It has no face, but it steals your focus, your clarity, and your energy. And if you don't confront it early, all your discipline goes down the drain. That's exactly what we'll talk about next. You don't have to be perfect to begin. You just have to begin. And when your first act of the day is intentional, everything changes. Now, I want to invite you to take a real step, a commitment. Go to the comments and write the phrase, "Tomorrow, I rise stronger." Sounds simple? It's not. When you write this, you're making a public statement, even if silently, that you're ready to live with more awareness, more presence, and more purpose. And as the Stoics believed, transformation doesn't start with big achievements. It begins with small acts done consistently. Your Stoic journey starts now. And in the next section, you'll understand why taking control of your day isn't just a habit. It's a silent vow of power over yourself. Avoid your phone for the first 30 minutes. You beat the alarm clock, but did you beat your greatest morning enemy? In the first few minutes of the day, your mind is still vulnerable, like fertile soil, waiting for its first seeds. It's at that moment that many people almost instinctively reach for their phone. One swipe, one notification, and boom, your attention has been hijacked. What should have been a centered beginning turns into a dive into noise, comparison, and distraction. Marcus Aurelius warned us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If your first thoughts come from social media, news, or messages, what color is your soul taking on? The Stoics made mastering the mind their top priority. This isn't about demonizing technology. It's about recognizing its impact on our psyche. By reaching for your phone first thing in the morning, you're training your mind to react rather than act. You're letting the outside world take control of your focus before you've even set your intention for the day. As the philosopher Seneca said, nothing is as honest as a mind that refuses to be ruled by appearances. And few things manipulate appearances more today than your social media feed. Avoiding your phone for the first 30 minutes isn't just a rule, it's an act of resistance. It's your sacred time, where you decide what you think, feel, and desire, without external interference. Use this window to connect with yourself, not with the world. Drink water, breathe deeply, reflect. By protecting this space, you sharpen your mental clarity and conserve your energy for what truly matters. But what should you do with that time you used to give to the digital world? How can you use those first moments to strengthen your mind before the world even knocks on your door? The next Stoic step brings the answer. Prepare for what could go wrong before it happens. If these words are resonating with you so far, show your presence. Leave a like. It helps this content reach others who are also seeking a stronger, clearer, more stoic mind. And if you truly feel it's time to change how you live, if this video is helping you take that step, subscribe to the channel now. This isn't about fleeting motivation. It's about real transformation. Join us on this stoic journey. Every new video will be a reminder to stay strong on the path to your best self. Practice anticipating the day's challenges. Premeditatio Malorum. What if you could foresee the problems of the day and wake up already shielded against them? That's the idea behind one of the most powerful practices in Stoic philosophy, Premeditatio Malorum, or the premeditation of evils. The Stoics didn't believe in waking up optimistic, hoping everything would go perfectly. They preferred to wake up prepared, aware that the day would bring challenges, and that a person's strength lies in how they respond, not in the circumstances they face. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Today I will meet with ingratitude, betrayal, envy, but none of it will shake me, because I know it's part of human nature." By anticipating obstacles, he wasn't inviting them, he was disarming them. And you can do the same. Before starting your day, close your eyes for a few minutes and visualize, what might go wrong today? Who might I have conflict with? What setbacks could arise? This isn't about being pessimistic. On the contrary, it's about taking the stance of someone who strengthens themselves before battle, rather than being caught off guard on the battlefield. Epictetus teaches us it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. Anticipating is changing your perspective before the event even occurs. It's you deciding with calmness how you'll respond if something goes wrong. Will you get irritated or take a deep breath? Get frustrated or look for a solution? This daily practice keeps impulsive reactions at bay and invites rationality. It strengthens the mind by reminding us that we always have a choice in how we respond, even if we don't control the event itself. When you anticipate misfortunes, you take away the power they have over you. You act with awareness, not on impulse. But for this preparation to be truly effective, it needs something more. It's not enough to just predict what might happen. You also need to remember what is within your control and what isn't. And that's exactly what we'll explore in the next step. Take 2 minutes to reflect on what's within your control. How often do you waste energy during the day on things you can't control? If we're being honest, the answer is almost all the time. We stress about traffic, other people's moods, unexpected problems, and outside judgments. But as Epictetus reminds us, some things are up to us and some things are not. True mental freedom begins when you start your day by clearly separating what's in your hands from what isn't. Take 2 minutes early in the morning to reflect clearly. What is within my control today? You can't control the weather, but you can choose whether to complain or adapt. You can't control other people's attitudes, but you can control how you respond. You can't prevent the unexpected, but you can stay calm when it happens. This simple exercise, repeated daily, shifts how your mind interprets the world. Life stops feeling like an uncontrollable battlefield and becomes a stage where you decide how to act. Seneca wrote, "The essential part of life consists in distinguishing what we can change from what we must accept." This wisdom isn't just theory, it's deeply practical. When you reinforce early on that you are the master of your actions, decisions, reactions, and thoughts, you equip your mind against frustration. You stop being an emotional victim and become a rational agent. That clarity brings lightness. The Stoics didn't aim to eliminate pain. They aimed to avoid unnecessary suffering, and nothing is more useless than fighting what you can't change. When you accept that reality and choose to respond with wisdom, you take a massive step toward inner peace. But reflection alone isn't enough. To transform your day, you need to act with direction. Now that you know what's under your control, it's time to choose where you'll focus your energy. In the next step, we'll define what truly matters and how to shield your focus from chaos. Define 3 priorities that truly matter for the day. Have you ever ended your day feeling exhausted but unsure of what you actually accomplished? That's the side effect of a mind without direction. When you wake up without defining what really matters, the world does it for you. And more often than not, it throws you into cycles of distraction, urgency, and frustration. You react to everything, but build very little. Stoicism reminds us that focus isn't about overproductivity. It's about clarity on what deserves your energy. Before you dive into your tasks, ask yourself, if I could only get 3 things done today, which ones would make the biggest difference in my life? Don't think in terms of quantity, think in terms of meaning. Maybe it's making progress on an important project. Maybe it's finally having that conversation you've been putting off. Maybe it's taking care of your body and mind with full presence. The key question is, what will move you closer to the person you want to become? Seneca warned us, life is long enough for those who know how to use it, and it all begins with the ability to choose what's worth it. When you define your priorities early in the day, you send a clear message to your brain. This is what matters. Everything else is a distraction. This practice lowers stress, prevents mental overload, and dramatically increases your sense of real progress. The Stoics also knew that it's not enough to choose what to do. You have to protect that sacred space. That means saying no. It means filtering out the fake urgencies that knock on your door, but don't move your life forward. It means remembering that your attention is your most valuable resource, and wasting it is choosing to live on autopilot. Now that your priorities are clear, there's one more crucial step: installing those intentions into your mental system with strength and presence. The Stoics did this using mantras, affirmations, and daily reminders that help them stay grounded in the face of temptation, distraction, and doubt. And that's exactly what we're going to do next. Repeat a Stoic affirmation out loud, your personal mantra. Do you speak to the world before you speak to yourself? Most people start their day listening to everything except their own inner voice. They wake up and are instantly bombarded by notifications, demands, worries, and noise. But the Stoics understood that before you face the world, you must first align with what you believe. That's why they used short, powerful phrases, mental anchors, a mantra, a reminder, a silent command to the mind. This is how I choose to live. Marcus Aurelius did this in his daily writings. He didn't write for others, he wrote for himself. He repeated truths that needed to be remembered. One of them, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By repeating this or other affirmations first thing in the morning, you create an invisible shield around your mind. You reinforce identity, clarity, and direction. Choose a Stoic affirmation that resonates with where you are right now. It could be, I am responsible for my actions. Nothing external can harm me, only my interpretation. Today, I will be guided by reason, not emotion. Say it out loud or write it by hand. What matters is that you don't leave your mind empty, because where there's emptiness, the world will pour in noise. Epictetus said, what really matters is what you tell yourself. If you want to strengthen your mind, start shaping it the way the Stoics did, with words that reflect your values, with repetition that builds conviction, with phrases that endure chaos. These affirmations are living reminders of the person you want to be, even when everything around you tries to make you forget. But it's not enough to align the mind. The body must also awaken with intention. And the next step is simple, physical, and essential, but overlooked by nearly everyone. It's time to nourish your body with presence. Hydrate mindfully. one glass of water as an act of presence. Did you know that the first thing your mind needs to function properly isn't coffee, motivation, or willpower? It's water. Simple as that. After hours of sleep, your body is dehydrated, and as a result, your mind is slow, foggy, and reactive. But here's something deeper. It's not just about hydrating your body. It's about doing it with presence. One glass of water, drunk mindfully, can become a ritual of reconnection. It can be your first act of self-mastery, your first conscious choice of the day. Seneca said, "It is foolish to suffer before it is necessary." And by neglecting something as basic as hydration, you're silently imposing suffering on your mind. If you wake up tired, unfocused, or unmotivated, maybe you're not lacking energy. Maybe you're just lacking water. The Stoics saw value in simple, everyday acts. A bath, a walk, a meal. They knew that everything could be done with virtue, and that includes drinking a glass of water. Drinking water with intention is a small act of self-care that tells your mind, we are alert, we are present. It's not a meaningless detail. It's a message that you're taking command of your well-being from the very first moments of your day. When you drink water calmly, with focus and gratitude, you turn something automatic into something sacred. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So react with awareness. Start your day by honoring your body, not ignoring it. And remember, Stoic greatness doesn't begin with speeches. It begins with small, consistent, intentional decisions. Now that your mind has been nourished from within, it's time to move your body, activate your breath, and awaken the vital energy that fuels your discipline. The next step is physical, but its impact is entirely mental. Stretch your body and breathe deeply with intention. Have you ever paused in the morning just to feel your body? Or do you simply get up, drag yourself into the day, and only notice how tense you are once fatigue sets in? Most people carry an anxious mind inside a stiff body, but the Stoics understood that the body and the mind are one. There is no mental clarity without physical presence. That's why stretching when you wake up is more than taking care of your muscles. It's a practice of awareness. Marcus Aurelius said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." If your body is tense and blocked, your mind will be too. The stiffness from the night, the shallow breathing, the tight shoulders and spine, all of it sends a signal to your mind that it's in a state of alert. But when you stretch, breathe deeply, and move with intention, you send a different message to your brain. We are safe, we are present, we are ready. You don't need 30 minutes of yoga. You need 3 minutes of mindfulness. Raise your arms, roll your neck, touch your toes, gently move your spine. And while you do this, breathe slowly and deeply. Expand your chest, feel the air enter calmly. Notice your body waking up with you. This physical reconnection immediately shifts your internal state. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." And the best reaction to start the day is to breathe with presence. Science confirms it. Conscious breathing regulates the nervous system, lowers cortisol, and boosts focus. But the Stoics knew this long before any studies. They practiced introspection, conscious slowness, and the pause before action. And that's exactly the space we're going to create now. Because before you rush out into the world, there's one silent practice that can completely transform your internal state. The power of beginning your day in absolute silence. Start the day in absolute silence for a few minutes. When was the last time you began your day in complete silence? No voices, no notifications, no noise, just you and your breath. For most people, silence feels uncomfortable, but for the Stoics, it was essential. The world is constantly screaming at you, and if you don't create an inner space of stillness, you'll spend your life reacting to external chaos. Silence isn't emptiness, it's presence, it's clarity, it's mastery. Seneca wrote, "Tranquility comes when we stop letting the outside world disturb the inside." This isn't just theory, it's practice. Starting the day in silence is like wiping the mirror of your mind before facing life. It's in this space that you hear what truly matters, your thoughts, your intentions, your emotional state. Silence is the fertile soil where wisdom grows. Set aside 2, 3, or 5 minutes. Sit in a quiet corner of your home. Close your eyes. Do nothing. Just be there. Breathe. Observe, feel the present moment. If thoughts arise, don't fight them. Just notice. Silence reveals what noise tries to hide. Unresolved fears, true desires, anxieties disguised as ambitions. And it reveals something even more powerful. The peace that exists when you stop trying to control everything. Epictetus said, "If you wish to be unshaken, don't cling to what's beyond your control." Silence is the first step in remembering what does depend on you: your presence, your attention, your serenity. In this space, you prepare not to rush, but to act with purpose, not to conquer the world, but to avoid being conquered by it. And when you open your eyes after this moment of stillness, something has shifted. You're less reactive, more centered, more in control of yourself. But now, with your mind anchored, it's time to do something even more powerful. Channel that calm into what you want to build in the world. The moment has come to align your actions with your purpose. Align your purpose with one small, concrete action. What's the point of reflecting, taking deep breaths, and mentally preparing if you don't take action? Your mind may be clear, your heart centered, your body awake, but if you don't turn that into movement, your day starts stagnant. The Stoics knew that wisdom without action is just vanity. As Seneca said, "It's not because things are difficult that we dare not. It's because we dare not that they become difficult." Courage begins with a single step, and that step should be taken first thing in the morning. You've already reflected, drank water, breathed, and found silence. Now it's time to act, but not just any action, something small, intentional, something that bridges your inner world with the outer. What's the first concrete action that represents your purpose today? Maybe it's opening a notebook and clearly writing down a goal. Maybe it's dressing with intention, not haste. Maybe it's finally starting that project you've been putting off. What matters is that this action is symbolic, that it visibly represents what you've chosen as your focus for the day. Marcus Aurelius said, "A man's life is what his thoughts make of it, but thoughts build little unless translated into practice." The Stoics valued daily discipline as a way to strengthen character, and character is shaped by consistent choices, especially in the small things. Your first action of the day sets your rhythm, your direction, your level of commitment to what you claim to want. It doesn't have to be grand, but it must be deliberate. By taking this small step early, you send a direct command to your mind. Today, I am present. Today, I decide. This shifts your mental pattern for the entire day. You move from passive mode into a state of creation. And there's no better way to train this than starting in the morning, when your mind is fresh and most open to new connections. But for this action to hold firm against the noise that will come, you'll need protection. What comes next is an invisible shield against distractions and diversions. In the next step, you'll learn how to guard your attention like a Stoic guards their principles. Guard your attention like a Stoic warrior. Have you noticed how your attention is constantly being hijacked? Every notification, every scroll, every external stimulus steals a piece of your focus. Before you know it, your day has been consumed, not by major obstacles, but by silent distractions. Epictetus warned, "Pay attention to what occupies your mind, for that is what you are becoming." If your attention shapes your reality, then guarding it is how you guard yourself. Attention is the new gold, and the world knows it. Apps, social media, messages, everything is designed to capture your focus. But a Stoic doesn't live as a victim. They observe, understand, and discipline themselves. That's why building a shield against distractions first thing in the morning is crucial. And we're not talking about complex techniques. We're talking about a simple choice. Block what doesn't matter to prioritize what does. Turn off notifications. Keep your phone in another room for the first 60 minutes of your day. Consciously choose what you consume. Don't let randomness dictate your mental state. Marcus Aurelius said, "The quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts, and the thoughts you allow in set the tone for your entire day." Guarding your attention is also an act of respect. Respect for your time, your energy, and your goals. When you say no to distractions, you're saying yes to what truly matters. You begin to see yourself as the guardian of your inner temple, and that temple shouldn't be invaded by meaningless noise. Start with 30 minutes of focused attention upon waking, then extend it to your first tasks. Do one thing at a time. Give your full focus to what you're doing, even if it's something simple. This practice of presence sharpens your mind and strengthens your resistance to the world's false emergencies, but the world will try to pull you back. To withstand it, you'll need to cultivate something even stronger: daily self-discipline. In the next step, you'll learn how to install this power within yourself, even on the hardest days. Practice self-discipline like a sacred vow. Discipline isn't punishment, it's a declaration. a silent affirmation that you are stronger than your impulses, more committed to your values than momentary comfort. In the modern world, where everything invites instant gratification, cultivating self-discipline is an act of inner rebellion. Seneca put it best: it's when we resist our desires that we begin to be free. And it's in this daily struggle that the Stoic is forged. You don't need grand sacrifices in the morning. You just need to do what you said you'd do. If you promised to wake at 6 a.m., rise. If you decided not to touch your phone for an hour, honor it. If you committed to 5 minutes of meditation, sit down. True strength isn't in doing more. It's in doing what you pledged, no matter how small. That's where self-respect is born. And without that respect, there's no real progress. Self-discipline isn't rigidity, it's consistency. It's repeating a tiny act daily until your identity shifts. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, stop debating what a good man should be. Be one. Discipline isn't something you think about, it's something you do, especially when you don't feel like it. Every small victory matters. Hitting snooze? Resist. Morning rituals? Complete them. Necessary tasks? Do them without drama. Each time you strengthen an invisible muscle, character. This discipline will anchor you through emotional storms, hard days, and existential doubts. Because consistency isn't just habit, it's structure. But heed this: discipline without kindness becomes harshness. The Stoics weren't hard on themselves out of pride. They sought balance. A strong mind needs pauses too. That's why the next step is just as vital: the deliberate practice of gratitude as your source of renewal and direction. Practice gratitude as a daily ritual. Have you ever stopped to consider how your day begins? For most people, dawn is just another race against the clock, a mind already cluttered with worries, expectations, and unchecked to-dos. But the Stoics, in their timeless wisdom, understood something profound. Before you can conquer the world, you must first conquer inner peace. And the first step on that journey each morning, a simple act of gratitude. Seneca taught us, gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. When we start the day with thankfulness, our entire perception shifts. Instead of focusing on what's missing, we begin with what's already here. This small acknowledgement creates a deep undercurrent of contentment that ripples through every hour that follows. Why does gratitude hold such power? Because it rewires your focus. Rather than fighting what can't be changed, you start celebrating what already exists. And that brings an instant sense of abundance. There's no room for frustration when you wake up remembering your blessings. As Marcus Aurelius put it, you have what you need if you choose to see what you already have. What's remarkable is how gratitude transforms even hardship. A challenge stops being an obstacle and becomes a chance to grow. After all, Stoicism teaches us that adversity is wisdom's training ground. Regular gratitude sharpens your ability to find the lesson in every situation, making you unshakable when storms come. This practice doesn't need grandeur. It can be as simple as thanking the air in your lungs, the pulse of life, the mere fact of waking. The key is consistency. Let your first conscious act each morning be a pause, feet on the floor, eyes open, and just whisper, "Thank you for this day, for all I've been given." That moment of recognition sets your mind on the right path. In the next step, you'll learn to make this gratitude permanent, not just a morning ritual, but a lens through which you see everything. Because when thankfulness becomes your foundation, resilience follows naturally. Now, let's bridge this to the battles ahead. Turn gratitude into action. Gratitude is powerful, but when you express it through action, it reshapes your reality. The Stoics weren't philosophers of words, they were philosophers of practice. To them, virtue wasn't an abstract idea, it was daily conduct. Thinking wasn't enough, you had to live your values. And it starts with gratitude. What you feel in the quiet of your heart must find expression in the real world. Otherwise, it's just a fleeting emotion. As Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. So, if you woke up recognizing your blessings, now act on them. Show gratitude by being kinder to someone. Respond with patience, not reactivity. Say thank you sincerely, without expecting anything back. Work with more presence. Walk with more awareness. Decisions guided not by lack, but by abundance. This is Stoicism in motion. True gratitude creates generosity. It breaks the cycle of dissatisfaction. When you feel whole, you don't need to compete. When you realize you already have enough, you can give more. This is the root of Stoic serenity, knowing nothing is missing, that the essentials are within you, and from that place, you become useful to the world. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, life isn't about waiting for something to happen. It's about contributing something real. Practice this daily, and gratitude stops being a moment. It becomes a way of being. Traffic isn't an annoyance. It's time to listen to something meaningful. A mistake isn't failure. It's a lesson. Even the silence between tasks gains new depth. All of this starts with one decision. Put your gratitude in motion. But to make this sustainable, you need a conscious closing to your day. The Stoics knew that how you end your day is just as important as how you begin it. So, in the final step, we'll explore how to close your day with reflection, wisdom, and presence, creating a true cycle of growth. Close your day with Stoic reflection. How you end your day determines how you'll begin the next. Most people rush through life, jumping from task to task without pausing to reflect on what they've lived. But the Stoics knew that wisdom comes from observing your own life. The silence of night isn't emptiness, it's sacred space, a moment to look inward, acknowledge your actions, learn from mistakes, and prepare to begin again with clarity. Seneca urged, at night, examine what you did that day. What habit did you resist? What temptation did you overcome? Where did you improve? This Stoic practice doesn't demand much time, just raw honesty. It's you facing yourself. No masks, no excuses, just truth. Ask yourself, today, did I stay true to my values? Did I act with courage or react with impulse? Where can I be better tomorrow? This isn't about guilt. It's about growth. A Stoic doesn't self-flagellate, but doesn't be reality either. They accept what happened and extract lessons from it. Every mistake holds the seed of a wiser choice. Every small victory deserves recognition. Each night, a lesson. Each lesson, stronger resolve. Ending the day with intention also brings deeper rest. Instead of sleeping with a mind full of noise, you rest knowing you're on the right path. This practice improves sleep, eases anxiety, and strengthens your connection to your journey. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, when you rise in the morning, think, I have work to do, and at night, let your mind be light, for you've done what was yours. To make this a habit, 1. Set a fixed time, even 5 minutes before bed. 2. Grab a notebook. Write just 2 to 3 reflections. What did I learn today? What would I do differently? What am I proud of? This is how you build awareness. And awareness is what separates the ordinary from the truly Stoic. Life doesn't transform overnight, but day by intentional day. When you start mornings with presence and end nights with reflection, you become what the Stoics revered, someone who lives, truly lives, by reason and virtue. Most people will end the day exactly as they started, distracted, tired, and without understanding why nothing changes. But you are not the majority. If you've come this far, it's because something inside you decided to break the autopilot cycle. And this decision is the first step towards a profound transformation. Now, imagine living 30 days applying these 15 Stoic principles, not as a burdensome obligation, but as a new code of personal conduct, a silent vote of loyalty to your best version. What would happen to your mind, your focus, your discipline? What would happen to your life? Marcus Aurelius said, don't waste any more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. You already know what to do. It's all here. Every attitude you saw in this video is a seed of mental strength, emotional clarity, and Stoic serenity. But seeds only blossom with practice, and the practice begins tomorrow morning. What if I told you that the secret is not in doing everything at once, but in repeating the essentials constantly until you become who you are? It's not about changing the world. It's about changing your inner world. Because as Epictetus said, no one is free if they are not masters of themselves. If this content made sense to you, leave your comment with the phrase, tomorrow, I'll start over stronger. This way, I will know that you are committed to this journey. And remember, Stoicism is not just philosophy. It is a way of living with courage, with clarity, and with soul.